lot of the early researchers wanted to identify plants that could be used as agricultural commodities. And so they traveled around the world, brought plants back to the main campus, and used the campus grounds as an experiment station. And as a result of their research, many plants were identified, like cotton and citrus, that were useful as a commodity crop in Arizona. As a byproduct of their research, many of those plants remained on campus and have grown to this day. Later in the mid-century, the needs of the state shifted more towards dealing with issues relating to resource conservation, especially concerns about water, as well as urbanization. Trying to identify plants that could be used in urban landscapes that were resource conscious. And if they were successful, they were then introduced into the nursery trade. You probably recognize plants like bottlebrush, like callistemon. Maybe you know vitex, the monk's pepper. Many of the landscape plants that you find in arid cities throughout the world were tested here. Kind of by chance, we developed this incredible botanical resource, and many of these plants are on campus. So there was a feeling that there should be advocacy for their preservation and proper care. And so at that point, 20 years ago, the Arboretum was formally established. We consider it a living laboratory, meaning it's a dynamic place for people to learn. So trying and testing new and interesting things that are not just adapted to our past climate, but which are going to be better adapted to our future climate. We've inventoried all of the plants on main campus, and all of those plants are mapped on an interactive tree map. But we also have select plants with botanical signage installed. And not only do those plaques now have the name of the plant and the origin, but it also has a QR code embedded. Participants can scan it, and it will then connect them to a web page that describes what that plant is. So it gives a really rich experience for people who just happen to be walking through the campus grounds. The Campus Arboretum collection houses specimens from every continent on the planet. We have approximately 1,200 unique species of plants that are growing on campus. Some of the most famous plants in our collection are now designated as University of Arizona heritage trees, and there's 22 of them. One of the most well-known of the heritage trees, though, is the baobab tree. And the baobab is the only flowering specimen of its kind in the Western Hemisphere. Another really famous heritage tree in the collection is a date palm. And typically date palms that we see in landscapes have a single trunk. This one has been allowed to grow naturally. It was a tree that was gifted to the university in the 1950s by the Iraqi government. This is a really cool thing about trees, that they were here before us, and they are usually here long after us. And so it's a way of giving us this broad perspective about where we are in time.